Yeah, coming at you, the 5 to 9 podcast. I'm Mike Martin. I'm Vince Mirabelli, doing the intro for the first time. With me, as always, my brother from another mother, Michael Martino. Mike, what's up, buddy?
Oh, that was pretty good. I
Wasn't
thought
it?
it was me. I
No,
thought
that
it
was
was
my
me. That was pretty
that
good.
was my best best
That
Mike
was
Martino.
awesome.
I thought
That
so.
was awesome.
I thought so. So, why would I do the intro today? Well, we're trying something a little bit different today. We're going to be live streaming this podcast to my YouTube channel. This will be the first video on the YouTube channel, so I probably should record some sort of intro or something. But this is just us keeping it real at 7 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. No, Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday
evening, whatever. So this is us, man. So now you get to see a little bit behind the scenes and my really, really sad office and Mike's awesome office. But
it's not that awesome.
So Mike, so yeah, we continue to go back to our old format, the Business Innovation Podcast roots, where we try things out and we see what happens and what works and what doesn't work, and we just experiment. And maybe you guys tell us, you know what, we like the content, we like you, please don't ever show us your face again. That's fine. The feedback is good. So but hopefully maybe this will resonate and give you a little bit of a face to the name, and you can see all my crazy wacky, when I say like I'm doing stuff and you can't see it, well, now you can see it. So there you go. That's enough about me. How you doing, Mike?
Whew. Vince is on fire today. I think he's all excited because he got to do the intro.
Yep.
I'm doing well.
Good.
I was just thinking about I think we had our last podcast was about tools that we use.
Yes.
And I was thinking, the big trend now is millennials. They're kind of the leading edge of side gigging.
Yes. Every article I've found.
Things.
Yeah, everyone I found is like, here's why millennials need to have a side gig.
And, some of it is economics, right? They can't get, there's been downturns in the economy as they came out of school. So they've had to do a bunch of different jobs. Mm-hmm. Apparently they need more stimulation. So just a 9 to 5 isn't working for them. But I propose that side gigging is not just for millennials.
No.
I think it's for Xers also at this point.
Why don't we just say what it is, Mike? It's also for old guys.
Okay, I like Xers.
All right. Well, I mean,
but yes, it's for us old folk and the millennials.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic, right? There was a dramatic downturn in the global economy in 2008. Not a lot has changed. I mean, obviously we're in a better economic state at this point, but the fact remains that over the past generation, salaries and benefits and et cetera, have not kept pace with the rate of inflation. And so things cost exponentially more. Houses cost exponentially more now than they did, 25, 30 years ago. Now, we don't need to get into the economic theory behind inflation, and we're not an economics podcast. But the fact is, I mean, relative to where we were 30 years ago, we're not making the same that we are now relative to the cost of living. So it's absolutely for old guys too, because we got stuff. We got stuff to like take care of.
Yes, we have. So if you have kids, they're a fortune.
Uh-huh.
I live in the city of Toronto, where still waiting. I think it's 10 years in running. Still waiting for that housing bubble to burst. Every year is the year it's going to burst, but it hasn't. Prices are through the roof here in Toronto, and unless you have a really good 9 to 5, it's kind of hard to keep pace and live in Toronto. I know a lot of people that come in from the burbs, and I'm being generous with the burbs. They come in, probably take an hour train ride into Toronto because Toronto's so outrageous. So side gigging gives you that little extra, if you will, to if you want to live in Toronto and, you know, maybe put your kids in some lessons once in a while. It maybe gives you that little extra to stay in and around where you work as opposed to having to travel.
Yeah. Whereas, you know, I am though that guy that travels. I live about an hour north of the city, and so, you know, it's about an hour and a half commute every day each way, door to door, to get to the office, and like that's 3 hours of my day. Like, I've done the math. That's roughly 12.5% of my day.
Right. And so if
you're spent traveling,
if you're looking for a work-life balance,
that's not it.
It's tough. It wears on you throughout the week for sure. And so get into that side gig as Aaron had talked about, where you get to the point where they're almost the same, and anything that happens in your day job, this you can just flip over. I think it gives you a chance at having a work-life balance if you get your side gig rolling.
Sure. And it's better. I get a lot of questions from people that, you know, they see how active I am on social media platforms like LinkedIn, like Twitter, now like on Instagram, and they're like, your profile is fantastic, and it's not, by the way, but this is what I mean relative to where their baseline is. It's like, it's so good, and you're always there, and you're always commenting, and you're always doing things and writing articles and recording this podcast, and you know, that's a lot of work. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's incremental work, because yeah, I'm not looking for anything right now, but maybe tomorrow I am, and so I'm not going to be an unknown entity to a lot of people, especially within my industry, because they have seen my name pop up every once in a while. They have seen things that I've written or have commented on or have said or whatever. So as opposed to putting in, you know, a weekend worth of work, I put in that much time, but I'm doing it 15 minutes at a time. And your side gig. Sorry, Mike. Let me just finish this flow, buddy. Your side gig is the same. So, you know, you can put in a little bit of work while you're working, and then maybe, you know, like Aaron said, it becomes the new gig. But, you know, it also means that your ramp up, should something happen where, you know, you're no longer working where you are in your day job, the time to transition is dramatically reduced, because you don't have to, you know, create something brand new from day one. You're almost rolling, and it's just a matter of redirecting your energy.
And there's no sure tell that someone's looking for a job than when there's no activity on LinkedIn, and then wham!
Yeah,
they hit you like a tidal wave full of crap. It is nonstop. I think the first tell is, and then it's like
several times,
like a machine gun, like updates. I'm like, and then as soon as you see that, dude needs a new job.
Yep.
Dude needs a new job, and
or is unhappy.
People notice, or is unhappy, and they're looking to move. And trust me, people know that, because it's always the joke. Oh, so and so must be looking for a job. You see, he's on LinkedIn a bit.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to keep that LinkedIn going. So when you're unhappy, people don't know it. Or if you're looking for a job, people don't know it. I think so. Just in the general sense, you need to be there before you need something. You need to build that social capital before you need to ask someone for a favor. So you need to be part of the community. You need to be helping out. You need to be a connector. You need to connect this person with another person.
Right.
And then you can come and go, I'm looking for something once you've built that social capital. But it's
Right.
you can't just show up and go, oh, I'm looking for a job. And who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've never been part of this community. Now you want the community to help you. And it doesn't really work like that.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Gary. I was reading a Gary V the other day. You know I'm a fan of his. Where it was like a little infographic type thing where it's like give value, give value, give value, give value, ask for a sale.
Yeah.
Like you can't just go straight to the sale. Like you've got to give before you get, and it'll come back to you. It's just a matter of time, but you got to give before you get. Everyone's suspicious when you come, with your hand out looking for something, when it's the first they've heard of you.
Yeah, and Gary V lives by that, and so does another person I've been, following and in contact since about 2007. That's Chris Brogan. So Chris Brogan does the same thing. He comes right out and says it, that he is looking to sell stuff, right? He's not shy about it. It's okay to sell stuff to people.
Yeah.
But he's been there since 2007, giving great advice, helping people out, having his blog constant, sending out his newsletter for free. He has all these things where he's built up all this. He's been helping, connecting people. So when it comes for him to sell something, he already has his tribe. And I think that's what's important. And that's what Gary is talking about.
Right.
You need to give value before you try and cash in to ask for something. Because sometimes you may need something or you're looking for a new gig. But if you haven't deposited any value, no one's going to be looking to help you. Mm-hmm. And I think having a 5 to 9 helps with that.
Yeah. And it also comes back to, I think, something you talked about several, and when I'm saying several episodes, I mean like early on in the evolution of this podcast, where we were talking about Joe Rogan, not to be confused with Chris Brogan. So Joe Rogan does a bunch of different stuff. Like he's involved with MMA, he's an actor, he's a comedian, he's got his podcast, which I think it's like what, a 3-hour podcast? Like it's a stupid amount of content.
It's 3 hours, probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And he's usually in iTunes and Stitcher, no lower than 4th in the world.
Right, which is insane. But the fact is, alluding to what I was saying earlier, here's a guy that if one of those things goes away, he just picks up something else because he's got all these other irons in the fire. So it's not like, okay, I lost my day job. Now what am I going to do? Well, he's like, okay, I lost the UFC thing. So now I'm going to record an extra 3-hour podcast a week because I've got the time. Like it just keeps rolling.
So I think it also goes back to that work-life balance. So he has so many things on the go that sometimes he's looking to do something that scares him. Like he's going to take on a challenge. But there's also things he's not scared of. So when the UFC was looking to, they just sold for like $4 billion or something.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure that he was going to stay on. It's not like he just does commentating. He's like, oh no, are they going to ask me to do something? Are the new owner is going to tell me I got to change my style? He was like, you know what? I think I'm out. I have enough on the go. I don't need to be this. I don't need to do commentating. And it was only when the president came to him and said, no, you have to stay on. And then Rogan said, you know what? I need some concessions. I'm not doing every pay-per-view. I'm not traveling overseas. So I'm going to do just the US. I'm not doing any pay-per-views that are like in Brazil. Any time changes, I'm not going to do unless it's like, I'm only going to stay in New York. Only going to stay in the US. And I'm not going to do Fox anymore. So he got rid of a bunch of things because he has all these other things that this is not live or die for him. So he still gets to do the thing he loves, which is he loves doing the play-by-play, but it's on his terms. And I think that's that's the work-life balance that I'm talking about, that the 5 to 9 gives you. you don't always have to be worrying about staying up till 12 o'clock to finish something, because hey, if you lose that gig, it doesn't matter because you got one or two other ones on the go.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's super important.
Yeah, and I've found, just to tie this, maybe you're not interested in having a 5 to 9, in which case I don't know why you're listening to us, but there's a lot of like, I've found historically, when I go into an interview gig where I'm of the opinion that if I get this job or not, I don't really care, that's when I perform the best.
Yeah, because you're loose.
You're loose, you're calm, you're relaxed. It's like, yeah, whatever. You lean back in the chair and like, yeah, okay. What questions you got for me? Like, whatever, let's talk. Yeah. So you know, because you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and I think that confidence comes across, as opposed to the smell of desperation, which most interviewing managers and hiring parties can smell, because it smells like fear, and like, you know, that comes across. So, you know, you really have to go in there with nothing to lose. You know, whether it's your day job or whether it's your 5 to 9, and I think having that 5 to 9 and having one, especially that's successful, like, you know, I know we heard, you know, we'll go back to Aaron. Aaron probably, you know, his confidence probably grew as his after hours gig grew, to the point where it now is his full-time thing. You know, like that confidence, you can't fake it.
And he's Rogan on a small scale, right? So
yeah,
he had built up his other things where when he was asked to do something in his 9 to 5 that didn't fit his career path or was nowhere near his career path, if he had nothing else, he would have had to sit there and eat it and do something that he would have hated.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have hated going to work, and he would have complained about it, mostly to me. And
that's what boys are for, man. Come on.
Yes. But he was like, you know what? This does not, I'm a writer and I want to write. I still remember the day that he said, because we used to do a lot of other side gigging. And eventually he said, I mean, we did websites and we did editing, and he finally said, I'm a writer, I have to write. And that became his career path. And so anything that deviated from that was a no, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had other things on the go. So it's very important for your happiness to pursue something. If you can't do it in your 9 to 5, at least do it in your 5 to 9. Right. Build up those other skills and really work out where you are professionally. I'm this person. And if you can do it in your 5 to 9, I'm this person, it will then either get to a point where you can get rid of your 9 to 5 where you're not that person, mm-hmm. or you can lead into a 9 to 5 that professionally is that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget where I read it, but I read recently the one of the ways to make decisions. It might have been Tim Ferriss. I'm not sure if I read it there, but it was like the way that he makes decisions on whether to do something or not is, does it get a hell yeah? You know,
right?
The old Stone Cold, pop some beers and. So
can I get a hell yeah?
Can I just do a tangent here for a second? I am so glad that we're broadcasting this, like, streaming live to YouTube, because all the episodes where I've said, like, if you could see what I'm doing right now, is like I'm like, my arms are going crazy and stuff, and like, now I don't have to do that. It's just like, yeah, watch the video. But anyways, the way that he makes decisions is like, if someone comes to him with something, or if an opportunity presents itself, if it doesn't elicit a hell yeah, I want to do that, then it's a no. So it's hell yeah or no, mm-hmm. which is awesome. Because that's how you, like, if you were to do something that was like, I guess, it becomes an obligation, first of all. But that might keep you from doing something that is a hell yeah, because mm-hmm. you're doing all of this meh stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's very dangerous to always say yes.
Because you have
you have no room. you will fill your stuff with all these yeses that you probably don't want to do. You're just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
And miss an opportunity for that hell yeah. So you should be saying no. And that's what I mean about finding out who you are. You should be saying no to get to that hell yeah. If it's not a hell yeah, don't say yes.
Yeah.
And if you think it can hurt someone's feelings, hey, that's what it is. If it's not your path, like Aaron said, I have to be a writer. If that's not every project, if it doesn't fall within that, it should be a no. It shouldn't be, can you do a website? But I'm a writer. Oh, come on, just do a website. Okay, I'll do a website. And then you lose an opportunity to do a writing project. So you should be saying no most of the time for that hell yeah project.
Yeah.
As Ferris would say.
Yeah. It was like when we talked about our 90-day challenge projects, which are coming to a close. How's the progress coming there, Martino?
Done.
Done? Okay. I'm not. I think I'm close. I'm close. But I mean, that was a thing where it was like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And I think we both were like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And so we did it. And
we were excited to do it.
And it was awesome to do.
It was a hell yeah.
It was a hell yeah. And it's actually shaping up to be something really cool, and as we're finding, pretty unique, in that nothing like it exists in the world as it's in its completed form. But maybe I'm giving away too much. No, I'm not. But anyways, that was a yeah, I want to do that. Yes, absolutely, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, well, let me think about it. I don't know if I have time and whatever. No, I want in. So, I think we've deviated slightly, but from our original thing, which is old guys need side gigs too. But I think we're demonstrating that
everybody needs a
side gig, and everyone, it's not for everyone. Some people are happy, working their 9 to 5, and going home and doing whatever, or, going to concerts. And I think like Dolly Parton was in town about a week ago or something.
I think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're cool doing that, that's cool. That's like good on you, because maybe Dolly Parton was your hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's not my hell yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, on top of the hell yeah, I think there should be a little bit of fear that you have to learn something. And so I'm not sure what you would learn at Dolly Parton. But if you've had a day job for a while, you're probably cruising through it for the most part. And you're never in this learning curve type of situation. But if you're in your side gig and you're doing stuff, you always have to learn stuff. Like we had to learn how to do a podcast. We had to learn how to research stuff for the product that we're coming up with. We have to then learn about how to launch said product. We have to learn about e-commerce. So there's always this, I got to learn something. Keep sharp. Always in this hustle learning situation. And so I think it's for everybody. It keeps us old guys young.
Yeah. Now you remember last episode where I talked about having a YouTube channel and having a bunch of videos up there and not having the confidence to publish them.
Right. And I told you just to put them up.
You said just put them up, which I haven't done yet. But so I used to play soccer as a young youth, and I would go through spells where you don't score, and then you'd score in bunches, and it was the phrase was broke your duck. It's like I had no goals for like 10 games, and then like 4 in one.
Right.
Because they came in bunches.
Right.
I'm hoping what we're doing right now breaks the duck. That's what I'm hoping. Because then all of a sudden it's like, well, I've got one video up there. I may as well just publish the rest. That's why I wanted to do this. I tricked you, Mike. I tricked you. But that's why I wanted to do this, because it's like, I've got this channel, I've got this outlet, I'm not doing anything with it, and it's just sitting there collecting dust. So let's do something. But I just needed something to push me over the edge, which was this.
Right.
So we're trying new things. This is the first time you're going to see us. For those that don't know us, thanks people at work that listen to us. But for those that don't know us, this is going to be your first opportunity to actually see. And I think it's kind of cool, if someone, isn't watching this video and just downloads the podcast and listens through iTunes or through Stitcher or through iHeartRadio, or listens live through LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, wherever you find us. I hope that this prompts you to go and check out the video and see what else is there, and maybe you like it and maybe you don't, and maybe I don't know.
I did my hair and everything.
I got my hair did, my nails did, everything did.
I got everything did.
No, I mean, you may notice, I'm going to take off the headphones for a while, so I'm not going to hear you, but you may notice that, like, I did not, this is pretty real, man. I didn't comb my hair. I didn't shave. It's like, this is like natural.
Did I tell everybody we had a face for radio?
Yeah, and you're right. But, I got like really, it was a little warm today, so my hair fluffed a bit. I got really curly hair, and so, but this is me. Just as now you're looking a little bit more fashionable there, Michael. But
because I got my Hillfinger shirt on.
Yeah, I mean, I got my I'm certifiable shirt on again. So this is like my house shirt, and I am certifiable. I've got. Yeah. Anyways, so that's it, man. Like it's okay if you don't want a side gig, and that is cool. But everyone can learn something from it. And it's not just for millennials; it's for us old guys too. We got mortgages, we got kids, we got stuff. We got to pay for stuff.
I think it gives you options.
And it gives you options. We were not meant to be on this earth to work things we didn't want to do.
No, and it'd be sad just to be stuck in a 9 to 5 just doing that.
Yeah.
So if you could branch out in your 5 to 9 and then become successful, that it's even better.
Yeah. I think that concludes our first live broadcast.
Yeah.
What do you think, Martino?
Hey, that was I have to go back and watch it now.
Yeah.
I want to see how it worked. I want to see how YouTube flipped the cameras back and forth and all that. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Please, as always, go rate, give us comments.
Yeah.
Let us know how you like the live streaming and the video portion of this podcast.
Yeah.
But it will be up on Stitcher and iTunes as an audio next week.
Next week, yeah. So. Next week. So yeah, all right. Hit us up. Email, comments below. You can get us on Twitter. You can get us on LinkedIn. You can get us pretty much anywhere. But just get us. All right, Mike.
And with that, take care, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.